Now, here's the big hammer. The lead of the story that should have been the first sentence. Mr. Biden granted Hunter Biden a full pardon in December 2024. It was the only clemency warrant in that period that Mr. Biden signed with his own hand.
Wow.
That's the lead story. Aides confirm Biden did not sign off on the individual pardons.
It's evil. I'm curious if he did the pardon with the Autopen for the judge who was getting kickbacks for Cash for Kids. You know about that story?
Yeah,
It's an insane story. That guy got pardoned as well, but that's what they do at the end, just like Bill Clinton pardoning weather underground terrorists.
I mean, Trump did it.
Yeah, I know. I think it should be
Like
totally banned. Yeah.
We were like, what about Snowden or like Ross
Assange
or Assange?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and President Trump has said many times, whoever was controlling the Autopen, that's who the president was. So according to those emails back and forth, Mr. Zients was the acting president. Because if he has the authority to say, I approve this, let's whip out the Autopen, then you've approved the pardon. I was doing some quick math, and I had to Google this one. There are 84,000 seconds in a day. All right. So that was my starting point. 84,000 seconds in a day. On that one day, he pardoned 1,500 people. If he gave every one of those people 1 minute of time, that's 90,000 seconds. So, and you cannot physically spend an entire day looking through those. So they didn't even get 1 minute. So if I have to if I'm president, they're like, you should pardon Tim Pool. Let me see his file, right? Tim Pool deserves at least a minute. No, the American people deserve at least a minute of me as president reviewing whether or not I give Tim Pool a pardon. He didn't even get that. 1,500 people were just freaking run through the machine, and someone else just added their names to that. And that is such a violation of everything we hold sacred that you're absolutely right. They are all null and void. And now those who are null and void are also should return to jail. And if you were not in jail and you got one of the preemptive pardons, well, now you're up for criminal prosecution.
You know, I feel bad for, there's at least some people who the pardons are probably not that big a deal. Maybe there's some like nonviolent offender and they were facing 10 years and Biden reduced it to time served after like 6. And it's like, well, they committed a crime, they're bad, but you know, this is whatever. And now it's like, you might have to go back.
Yeah.
The violent offenders that get pardons, I'm just like, send them back anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
But imagine finding out that your pardon, which was promised, is being voided because Joe Biden was sleeping.
Because Joe Biden didn't pardon you. Mr. Zients pardoned you.
There was no Joe Biden.
He doesn't have
There was no Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So just so we have a little bit more background, this Jeff Zients guy, he's actually Joe Biden's chief of staff. He was for 2 years, and he's held multiple different positions through the Obama and then earlier in the Joe Biden administration. The reason that it's important that you go through each individual case is because you don't actually know, like, there are details in each specific crime that lead to different things. One of the more outlandish people that was granted clemency was the infamous Kids for Cash judge, this guy named, who was it? Michael Conahan. And he was this guy in one of the states who was getting kickbacks from jail. So he was encouraged to send more kids to jail at the time. So he gave out these outrageous sentences. So like things like this fall through the crack as a result of this. I think it's also fascinating how this is, for a Democrat, pretty much political malpractice. Like the Trump administration right now is struggling with a specific story. Let's not mention it this soon in the episode. But like while the Trump administration is struggling with that, this is the lead story for the New York Times. So it's like, Joe Biden, you're too dumb to keep your mouth shut for like the Democrats' sake, because now this is only red meat for the MAGA base, which Trump is struggling to, keep fully on his side. So this story is a perfect distraction for that, and it isn't going anywhere. This is a story that the president was talking about for a long time. And I also will mention, because I only today really learned what the Autopen literally was, because Shane mentioned something and told me to look it up. I thought it was DocuSign. I use DocuSign for all of my document signing needs, and it's like this automatic thing online where I just click one button and it writes my signature. No, this is like a physical contraption that moves with the strokes similar to
it's a little arm, and it moves.
It looks like Joe Biden.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
But like, why the timing is so fascinating. Obviously, the former president has an ego, and he was trying to defend his legacy right now. That's
dude, can I buy this?
Being slammed.
We should get one.
You can buy one, sure.
Yeah, it's like a 1970s CNC.
But this is this is a process crime, because this is kept in a room under lock and key, and people need to go in, and people need to get the paper, and there are a lot of bad actors in this process, and they are all to a certain extent culpable. And you can't say, well, I was just following orders. That doesn't fly anymore.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.